Hi folks, our hunt for the mysterious Ripper in the Seattle Metroplex of 2054 continues. Hi everyone, I'm SilmarUK and I'm a content creator on YouTube, on Twitch, as well as writing some blogs as well. I aim to provide chill gameplay, helpful hints, and to explore the stories and lore of the games in which I play. You can find my key links in the panel below. Including my Twitch channel where I live stream games 3 times a week, my main website SilmarUK.net, which is where the blogs are, and other resources as well. You can also see there my Twitter, which is a good way of staying in touch with me and how I keep folks up to date on what I'm doing. And of course there's a short bit.ly link to my YouTube channel. So, this is the continuation of our Shadowrun Returns Let's Play, which we're doing in the run-up to Cyberpunk 2077, playing a series of Cyberpunk-themed games. And we are hunting for the murderer of Sam Watts, a friend of ours, which so far has led us to discover that there is actually a series of murders and a serial killer going on. And we're trying to find out some more information about what happened to Sam and who this murderer may be. Last week we identified a contact, Coyote, part-time bartender, part-time Shadowrunner, who managed to get herself into some pretty sticky situation. You have to go back and watch the previous videos in the series to find out a bit more about that, but we managed to get her out of it, and hopefully this week she'll be providing us with a bit more of an idea of what the hell happened to Sam. If you enjoy this video, please hit like. Please do leave comments if you've got any questions on the game. I'm happy to try and answer them. If you just want question of the day, what's your favourite Cyberpunk themed game? Is there anything else out there that I should be playing in the lead up to Cyberpunk 2077? And if you do enjoy the video, then please consider subscribing as well. So without further ado, let us get into the game. Okay, so continue. So Stevie J's penthouse suite is where we had to go get Coyote from. Very nasty BTL den, not a pleasant place at all, but we managed to get her out of there. She'd gone in on a mission of revenge. Unfortunately the mission went sideways on her, but we turned up just in time. So Coyote and Pablo, her boyfriend, have gone off to the Seamstresses Union to get Coyote patched up. We have just found a consignment of gems which Coyote had come here to find. And now that we have done that, it is time for us to be leaving. So, feel a bit bad about leaving the Hellhounds in a deserted apartment block, but I don't have an option to take them out anywhere. Head back to the Seamstresses Union, yep. Hopefully we can get some answers. Return to the Union. Despite Coyote's clear desire to stand on her own 2 feet, Paco needs to help her through the door into the Seamstress Union. Heads raised and the front room of the bar falls strangely silent. Paco stands by her side now, not speaking, his dark eyes flat with fury. Coyote presses a rag to her clawed up face. She winches but manages to keep control as she breathes in slow deep breaths to manage the pain. Taking a closer look, you see her arm isn't much more than shreds of meat and broken bone, held together by tendons and burned skin. It'll be a miracle if she still has it by the end of the night. Mrs. Kabuta is tending bar herself when Paco carries the mangled and bleeding Coyote into the Union. As soon as the boss lady lays eyes on her missing bartender, the place gets quiet. Fast. By the time she rounds the bar to meet you, Coyote is the colour of wet spackle and there's something new in her eye. Fear. The woman has face down hellhounds with the side of Mrs. Kubota as her staring at the floor and mumbling. Mrs. Kubota, woman, how dare you miss 2 shifts and then come back and bleed on my floor? Coyote, I'm sorry, Mrs. Coyote. I had a run that went bad. Sulka, I can see that. Your arm is a mess. Was this your crusade again? Do not answer. It will only upset me further. You caused me to worry about you, Coyote, and that distracted me from my business. Hi, Mrs. Coyote. My apologies again. Jerry, take her downstairs to Dr. Castle. Yes, ma'am. And tell Castle to put something new and shiny where that arm used to be. Mrs. Kubota, I cannot afford a cyber arm. I'm aware of your financial situation. When you are healed, we will discuss the concept of Giri, the debt of honor. Now go, bleed elsewhere. Yes, ma'am. Cool. Ah, we have some more calm. And we cut to... Aha. Her anger at Coyote's rashness slowly washes away from her eyes and is replaced by tears. She sniffs, wipes them away and inclines her head to you. Doma Aragata, Silmar. That girl is precious to me. It is not often that we see acts like these in the barracks. You have performed a great service for my little family and I welcome you into my home. Consider it yours while your work keeps you here. But we both know that words are mere air. Beyond my thanks, I offer you this remuneration. Please take it as a show of respect. I think we will go with the respectful tone. I'm honoured, Mrs. Kubota. Thank you. You are most welcome. And I offer more than simple lodging. You will find that there is more to the Union than meets the eye. Below us is a small facility available exclusively for discriminating independent operatives like yourself. In it you will find vendors selling the best gear the black market has to offer, a fully equipped cyber dock, and a secure place to rest when the drag hits the fan, as they say. My, you are quite the entrepreneur. Indeed, normally I require a percentage of the runner's income for the use of this facility, but as I said, you are founder now. Consider it on the house. To gain entrance, play GAFFC on the piano. Oh. Meet all the black market vendors in the safe house and find the medbay in the safe house. So we're going down to the safe house. See if Mrs. Kubota has anything more to say. How else may I be of service? Is Mr. Denai here tonight? You mentioned Coyote's crusade. You don't mind, how did you get involved in all this? And John still fixes. Are we going now? You mentioned Coyote's crusade. What is it? Coyote grew up in the Royale but managed to escape that life. However, her cousin was apparently not so lucky. He came to town about a year ago and fell in with the wrong circle. He was introduced to sim chips and became addicted to BTLs. Coyote has been tearing her way through chip houses for months now, searching for him and acting as a one-woman clean-up crew. Is Mr. Delilah here tonight? Yes, Mr. Delilah is in the back bar. That's usually where he does business. Don't mind, how did you get involved in all this? I'm a former runner. Now I provide a safe haven on the marketplace for runners who need a trustworthy place to congregate and do business. Are any Johnsons or Fixers here tonight? In addition to Mr. Delilah, you may wish to speak to Van Grass. He is often stage-side. Van Grass is most often a receiver of found articles, but he occasionally has work. Okay. So, Fixers and Johnsons in the Shadowrun universe are the same thing. They are basically people who offer jobs. A Johnson works for the corporations, perhaps for one corporation or a number. A Fixer is more street-side and could work for anyone, but it's entirely possible that a corporation will place a job with a street fixer rather than a corporate Johnson if perhaps they want a bit more distance between them and you. Van Grass. Van Grass is busy talking on his comlink, checking his heads-up display and motioning to a runner standing nearby all at the same time. He's an intense little man. You get the sense that he likes to look busy. I am Van Grass. Make it quick. Busy's good. Talk to me. Mrs. Kubota said you are a fixer. He still hasn't looked at you. He's going a mile a minute. Nothing for you tonight, sorry. I'm doing a thing right now. Important thing. Talk to you later. Oh, hey guy, one more thing. He covers his comlink for a moment. Tilts his head your way, but you can see he's still staring at his HUD. My fence too. If you've got anything you need to unload, come see me. Now the only thing we have will be something that does not belong to us. Johnny Clean. Mr. Cool. The whole control bouncer in the Immaculate View stands as impassively as ever. The absence of dust on his broad shoulders is the only real indication that the man never moves. He nods to you when you approach. Evening. I see Coyote's back, looking only a little worse for wear. We have you to thank for that? Paco and I tracked her down. Always wondered what she saw in him, but I guess he ain't all bad. I'm just glad she's back. Couldn't stomach losing anyone else so soon after what happened to Sam. You feel protective over the people here. Immensely, towards anyone who walks through that door, be they employee or patron. Unless they mean ill will, of course. Mind if I ask you a few questions? I haven't minded so far. You hear anything else about Sam's death? People are saying it was the Ripper, but people say a lot of things about what they don't know or they don't understand. How long have you been working for Mrs. Kubota? I crawled in here after I work. Mrs. Kubota took me in and gave me a job. I've been here ever since. Yeah, no way am I asking him the middle one. I should be going. Catch you round. We got Paco there. I do not see. I don't see Delilah yet. But none of my missions. None of my mission bits and pieces refer to that. Okay. So let's just see what Johnny Clean has to say. Johnny leans on his seemingly brand new mop and surveying the crowd at the Union. Hey Johnny, I'm looking for where Cherry took Coyote. Where's the safe house? Thanks for the tip the other day. Mrs. Kubota said I should go to the safe house, but I don't quite know where that is. Well, I do know exactly where it is. She told me. I've got a placed up on the piano. Looking for a Cherry to Coyote. Piano's a little out of tune. Check it out. Yeah. Inspect the piano. And we have the sequence we need. So, she slowly picked the notes out on the keyboard. They spark a faint memory of wonder, immediately forgotten as the entire piano slides to the left, revealing the hidden staircase. You descend the stairs into the Union safe house. There's Paco. I'm guessing they're either runners or muscle or a bit of both. Aha! So my items were moved to my stand. Cool! It allowed me to equip my shotgun. Oh, looks like I have stuff for Paco as well. Okay, well we'll confirm that. That's obviously Coyote and people. Interesting. Those are all the vendors, I guess. Right, let's get on with the main plot for the moment. We can go shopping in a moment. Shopping is important because that will determine where I spend all my skill points. So, Dr. Sarah Castle. Make it quick, I need to operate. Coyote, thanks for helping me out back there. Oh shit, you should be okay now. Yeah, I think we'll go with Noel Sheen, you should be okay now. We'll see, it's going to take years to work off this there. Okay folks, I'm going to have to ask you to go sit in the waiting area, watch some Tri-Vid or something. This young lady and I have work to do. Take it easy Coyote, we'll be here when you wake up. If you say anything about me going to sleep, just give me something to bite on. You're tough, kid, but you're not that tough. Okay, Coyote, let's take a look at your face. Leave it. Excuse me? Coyote? I earned this face by being stupid. I'm going to keep it. End of story. Whatever you say, kid. With one swift move, she sinks a syringe into Coyote's spine. Night-night. Okay, so Coyote. Coyote looks both better and worse than you last saw her. All the gaping holes are plugged and she's sporting a shiny new cyber arm. But now that the adrenaline is worn off, it's clear she needs some rest. Good morning. Thanks to the miracle of modern science combined with Doc Castle's magical healing powers, I'm almost as good as new. Better, really. I'll talk to you for a few minutes, Coyote, about Sam. Sam what? What about him? Sam's dead. Holy Drake, Sam? Can't say I'm surprised. He was on a downward spiral for a long time. What can I tell you about? What can I tell you? Tell me about Sam. I hear you liked him. I did. He made me laugh. No one else seemed to like Sam's jokes, but I did. Me too. You were friends? You saved my ass once. Got it. For us it was more than about me saving his ass once or twice, but Sam just had a way of charming you, know? I guess I knew him the best of everyone here. Sorry, Scott. You served Sam the night he died. What do you remember about that night? Pretty average night. Regular crowd as I remember. Sam was drinking with a guy named Armitage. Jake Armitage? Yeah, you know him? Met him. He's a charmer too. Quite a low lip. I like gingers. Anyway, Jake and Sam were having a few, well, Jake was having a few, Sam was tossing them back for good. Eventually he got loud the way he sometimes did when he mixed drinking and who knows what, and Mrs. Kubota wanted him ejected. Mr. Clue wasn't around, can't remember why, so she asked Jake to do the honours. Jake dragged him out the back into the alley, and that's the last time I saw Sam. He said he got loud. Do you remember what he was saying? He thinks. Standard Sam Drake, how he grew up rich, didn't deserve this, how he hated his mother, how he loved his mother. It was pretty pathetic stuff. Did Sam have any enemies? She thinks. Enemies? It's hard to say. Sam partied hard, and when he did, he ran his mouth off pretty good. Got his ass kicked on more than one occasion. No, I don't think he had any enemies, at least none that I'm aware of. Where did Sam live? On the streets mostly. He occasionally convinced someone to let him flop on their couch, but he'd always overstay his welcome and get kicked out after a few days. Sometimes I'd sneak him down here so he could crash in one of the bunks. He used one the night before I saw him last. How bad was the drinking? If it was just the drinking, it would have been bad. But Sam wasn't a monogamous type. He dabbled in everything, booze, chips, drugs. He loved the nitro, whatever he could get his hands on. It wasn't always like that, but once he got sick, he started using more and more stuff to try and forget about it. Sam was sick? Dying, didn't you know? Yeah, everyone could tell. You could just look at him and see he was a walking corpse. It had to be the drinking. Then he disappeared for a while, and one day he came back all better. Looked good even. That's suspicious. Did he say how he got better? He said his mum helped him out. Never said how though. Thanks, Coyote. Now I need you two to do something for me. What do you need, babe? I need you to talk to Mr. Delilah for me about the royal one. He's usually upstairs. Tell him I didn't get the gems. Maybe I can take another run at it when I recover. I will. Ah. We also have an objective to investigate Sam's bunk. Bunk is a mess and reeks of booze. Searching through the sheets, blankets and pillows, you find an old photograph that's seen a lot of wear. Look at the image on the photo. Pictures of a blonde boy and girl, both about age 14, sitting on a clock on the edge of a lake. They appear to be twins. The boy has his arm tied around the girl's shoulders and he's mugging for the camera. The girl is planting a kiss on his cheek while making rabbit ears behind his head with her fingers. Check the back of the photo. Written in a woman's hand are the words Sam and Jessica, Lake Sammamish State Park, Summer 2040. I'm going to pocket that. That was 14 years ago. Right, Doctor. Do you have any more? In Shadowrun circles, the term doctor is often used quite liberally to describe any soul bones with a needle and thread. But in the case of the Union's resident medical expert, nothing could be further from the truth. The safe house boasts a fully equipped medical suite complete with shamanic practices. This is 612 medicine of the highest caliber. The doctor herself is an unassuming sort, perhaps the type to go unnoticed entirely, not for the sprightly spirits perched on her shoulder like her own personal gargoyle. The spirit's burning eyes follow you constantly, even as the doctor's own eyes are buried in her charts. However, she does look up long enough to acknowledge your approach. I'm Dr. Castle. I understand you were instrumental in bringing Coyote back to us. Thank you for that. I suppose you're the one who patched her up. Impressive work. Oh, she, now fixing up her arm. That was a piece of work. Surprisingly routine as it so happens. She notices you eyeballing the facilities. I can tell you're surprised to find a full-service medbay under a dive bar in a slum. Don't be, this is a Shadowrun bar after all. For a purveyor of cyberware and trauma kits, there is no better place to set up a practice. I patch runners up, install and maintain the cyberware, and provide medical supplies for their runs. I may not be as mobile as Dotwagon, but I'm the next best thing. Can I help you with anything? What cyberware do you have available? Ooh. We've only got 1580 available. None of those is what I would consider to be huge. What's that on your shoulder? This little guy supports the healing rituals I perform on my patients after surgery, dramatically reducing the recovery time. Not standard procedure, of course, but the results speak for themselves. Okay, the rest of it we don't need to worry about. We need to talk to these people. Algernon. Past the bar, the edges of the safe house become somewhat indistinct due to the magical haze surrounding a particular elf. The man seems only half of this realm, his mind wandering the far horizons of astral space, while his body peddles his otherworldly wares. Good evening, young human, and welcome to the humble home that we call the Union. I am Algernon Halftree. To ease your way through the Sixth World, I offer you the best in magical foci, spells and fetishes for the conjuring of spirits. Not my thing. Mersman. Eric Mersman. Change your clothes, change your life, right? Not only will you look better, not that you look bad now or anything, but each one will help to keep you on the right side of the ground. Take a look. So what you have. So he sells clothing, specifically various forms of armor. Well, I've already got some stuff, so actually, if I do that, it doesn't show what I'm currently wearing. No. I know I don't want to be spending the money. I recently spent some money on getting better armor. Theodore Buster Gruberman is a well-groomed orc dressed with a position that suggests the straight lines of a military officer's uniform. His hair is cropped short, high and tight as they say, and the neatness this presents is only compromised by the uneven tusks protruding from his mouth. The only other defect in this picture of perfection is the man's cybernetic right arm, which is obvious enough to be noticeable, but not so obvious as to ruin the line of his suit. When he speaks, the orc's voice is soft and thoughtful, and he talks almost exclusively in numbers. Calibers, ranges, rounds per second, arc of fire, raising factor, tensile strength, and of course, price. Bunker Buster Gruberman at your service. Friends call me Buster. I also answer Sergeant, Sir, and even Theodore on occasion. Anytime you're in the market for firearms, ammunition, or ordnance, I am your man. How can I help you? Let's take a look at what you got. Okay. Some potentially quite nice items. Also sells drones. Support drone that is equipped to lay smoke trail whenever you need it most. Nice, but nothing right now, thanks, because I am most interested in this guy. Because I am also a decker, or a hacker, and I don't have a cyber deck yet. Every inch of the tech alcove is covered in a chaotic patchwork quilt of circuit boards, chips, wires, displays, and a million other things that you can't identify. In the eye of this techno-bit storm stands a dwarf, immaculately dressed and supremely calm. David, for a second. I know that look. Don't let the size of the shop fool you. I can get any Matrix hardware or software that exists. If it doesn't exist, then I can get it made for you. Any questions I can answer, or anything gear you need? Well, I know all these from having previously played this, so what do you have for sale? Okay, so we can afford that, but we could get that. Okay, so see you later. Oh, I'm being rude. Let me also introduce you to our resident decorator and my good friend Johnny Clean. I'm in the same overalls that you saw him in upstairs down here, leaning over a workbench crammed with circuit boards, cables and chips. Johnny Clean seems a totally different person. You get the impression that Johnny was once as hot and invisible as the most infamous deckers today. See you down here. Happy to be of help if I can be. It's true you were part of the Echo Mirage team. Let me take this one. Listen, I've known this guy for over a decade and he's been smart enough not to tell me. But he's sure as hell not going to tell you anything about those days. For your health and his, best to let the subject drop. Okay. We need to spend some skill points because that will determine the type of deck we can buy, which will then determine how much money we have for other things. So we need to get our decking up. Intelligence is 4, intelligence limits our decking, so we need to get it up to 3. So actually, it's already 2, so it's going to cost us 3 points to get it to 3. Oh, ESP control. Let's increase that. Can equip Craftsbury drones. We'll take that. And a bit of drone accuracy. So we spent most of our points on tech stuff. Now in terms of combat, we have raised our range combat to 3. So we could increase our shotgun or our rifles. So that will give us full auto, that will give us an aim shot with the shotgun. Right, I'm going to go for that. Because the shotgun does a lot of damage and an aim shot, better chance of hitting. Should be a brilliant weapon for close-in work. Right, but we only have 1 point, and there's nothing else we can spend that on. So, there we go. Just save the game. Oh, I did not save the game. Okay. Okay. So, now that I can take Class B room, do you have any for sale? No, you still only have the Class C. Let's see what you have. Right, we can now take a SilmarUK Craftwork 1. But we're going to want some programs to go with this. So we're certainly going to want an ESP, which is effectively like our drones are, but in the Matrix. Don't think we're going to have a chance to get an ESP yet. Right, so we've got Killjoy or suppression program. I like that. Blaster. Degrade. Okay. Blast is an area effect attack, so we're going to want to kill her, because that's a one-on-one. I like the idea of shield. Sniffer increases my chance to hit. So we've got some, we can reduce the suppression program to reduce the alarm state, is a good one. Blaster and Killer are our single and area effect attacks. Grade is a debuff that sets them up for additional damage. Shield helps to protect us and Sniffer helps them. Doesn't leave us with a lot of money, but it does give us a full suite of programs. To be honest, that's more programs than our current deck can take. But no, that will do. Right. So, our other parts of this mission: meet all the black market vendors in the safe house, deliver the stones to Mr. Delilah, and then return to Coyote. Let's go drop the stones off, and then we can go back to Coyote. There we go. Mr. Delilah. Mr. Delilah looks small and tough with an untraceable shotty on his back and a heavy vest under his trench coat. Got the air of someone who gets things done and occasionally does them himself. He might be an ex-runner, one of the rare ones smart enough to move over to management when he felt his reflexes slowing down. What do you want? Mr. Delilah, we have business to discuss. What business? I've got no business with you. We're with Coyote. She's indisposed at the moment. At the mention of Coyote, he finally gives you his full attention. Why didn't you say so? Coyote's later, my client is getting anxious. Where is she? She's downstairs in the med bay. Well, she's getting stitched up. No kidding. Well, whatever, she's tough, she'll pull through. So who are you two? Silmar, he's back up. Great, we're all introduced. Now give me my stones. Give him all the stones. In an instant, there's a jeweler's scope on his eye, moving quickly through what appears to be the most valuable stones. He stops when he finds what appears to be an ordinary pebble inscribed with Hebrew characters. He was looking for that one, but held it back. That's the one, he pocketed. Okay, you've done good, but you're late, and Coyote knows that in this case, late equals no payment. Well, I'm feeling magnanimous tonight, so you guys can keep the rest of the gems as your reward. I don't have a choice, but deal. Mr. Delilah looks you up and down, takes you all in. Listen, you look like the sort of man who might run a crew of your own one day. Might need a little talent. When that happens, you come to me, I'll set you up. He swishes you all away. Paco, looks like you impressed him. No offense for those gems. Pangras, follow me. Okay. Pangras is fiddling with his cyber eye while noddling on his PDA. You're back, still busy. What's your story? We have some pretty things to sell. We need to fence some stones. You the right guy? We have some pretty things to sell. I want to see them. The fondness for pretty things? Let me see. You hear the servo in Pangras' cyber eye whir as the magnified limb slips into position. He bends his head over the stones for 2 seconds, maybe less. Where did you get this track? A gumball machine? I'll give you 1,000 for them. I'll think about it. Suit yourself. Well, ready to unload those stones? Yeah, I've got nowhere else to unload them. Okay, give me your cred stick. We've lost the stones, but we have received 1,000 UA. Right, let's go find Coyote. There's the young lady. We're back. I think the highlights of the Wolves game will be on soon. Want to take a load off and watch with me? You know someone named Jessica? The Brow Furrows? No, why? That's the name of Sam's sister. Jessica Watts? Yeah, he mentioned her once. Didn't sound like they got along that well. Oh, your comlink chirps, and the screen shows the smiling face of Officer Aguirre. He's smiling, it must be about money. Officer Aguirre, what a pleasure to hear from you. Yeah, we're buddies, let's go dancing soon. Listen, the Ripper got another one. Victim worked at the NTSB investigation facility down in the dock. You owe me for this. Put it on my tab, you there now? Better get here quick before McCluskey arrives. The image on your PDA dissolves as the call ends. Another Ripper murder? Where? The docks, I've got to go. Okay, listen, I want to help. You dragged me out of the Royale before something bad happened. Worse than getting my arm torn off, and Sam was my friend. You head to the docks and I'll see if I can track down Sam's sister, Jessica. You might be able to help us. Thanks, I appreciate the help. Right. So, we now have two clues. The first is that Sam had a sister. And the second is that there's been another Ripper murder at the NTSB safe house investigation facility. We also have kind of a clue. We know at one point Sam was very ill, and then he was alright, and his mother helped him out, someone he didn't like. But I suspect to find out what that's all about, we're going to have to find his sister. So really, we've only got two avenues of investigation open at the moment. Let's hold down the Alt key to show all interactable objects. Okay, cool. The South Seattle docks. Leaving the seamstress union behind, you head to the docks. The Ripper killed Sam, and maybe he or she slipped up with this latest victim, left some useful evidence. Only one way to find out. South Seattle's your typical industrial area. Grit, grime and grey. The rain doesn't help matters any. Layers of dirt mixed with abandoned wooden pallets repurposed into makeshift furniture for the day workers. Garbage collects in the gutters of the broken down street. Disreputable is this district's middle name. The destination, the National Transportation Safety Board warehouse, is located on a small strip of dock towards the less maintained end of the waterfront. Despite the presence of those who linger in such places, it's quiet as you approach the gate. Right. No one seems to want to talk to us. Streetwalker, might. Hey, you looking for a good time? Know anything about the NTSB? Yeah, bums around here have been stealing old crap from that place for years. Not worth my time though. Bums, you say? Well, those guys aren't saying anything. Nothing that we can interact with over there. Look like plane seats or something. Halt! Lone Star Guard. Guard looks bored. He toys with his gun absent-mindedly, like he might shoot something on a whim just to watch it die. Hey, you're about to trespass on corporate property. You looking to get dusted, street scum? I'm looking for my kitty cat. Oh. I'm working with Lone Star on the crime scene investigation in the NTSB warehouse. Sure you are, and I'm lawfully the King of Dragons. Eat it. Okay. Ooh, we have something. Hey, that's mine. Homeless man, who raised you? A pack of wolves? That their ladder is rightfully mine. Can I borrow for a few minutes and hand over 5 new yen? Well, that's the best option I've got there. 5A, sure, maybe that noodle machine is still working. Right, okay. The streetwalker. Are you going to give me any? 20 new yen, not me, a friend of mine. I need you to have some fun with the guard by the fence around the corner. Yeah, because I'm going to have to distract the guard, otherwise I just cannot get over that fence. He looks at you knowingly. Alright, 20 buys you a 5-minute distraction. Then I've got to get back to work and earn some real new yen. Aha. Well, she's distracting him. She's asking, that's a big gun you have there. Standard issue, man. Right. Not sure if we're going to find any ink out here, but may as well be thorough. Oh, we got some kind of light copter and some bits and pieces. Phosphorus grenade? Shelly concussion grenade. Don't have the space to carry it, so we will send that to my stash. That's what happened with my shotgun. I bought it before I got the second weapon slot open, so I went straight to my stash. I couldn't access the stash until I got downstairs at the Union. The warehouse. Inside the large grey warehouse is as typical as the outside. High ceilings adorned with girders and rickety catwalks atop a huge utilitarian room. Concrete and steel walls meet a concrete floor. This is a place for storing things and nothing more. Despite the quiet on the outside, the inside is a hornet's nest of Lone Star officers going about their business. In the centre of the activity is the Emerald City Ripper's latest victim. With uniforms everywhere, no one stops you at the door. It seems his case isn't linked to the press yet. Lone Star will know you've got a job to do. That's Officer Aguirre, but that could well be McCluskey. That could be Dresden. Busy right now, Silmar. Talk to Aguirre. Okay, it's directing me to go and talk to him. The only issue with that being, I'm pretty sure that's McCluskey stood next to him. Ooh, you don't need to go right now. The old poster depicts a svelte young woman posing with an assault rifle. Okay. Look where it is. Took a sweet time, didn't you? You know the traffic these days, fill me in. I'm a busy man who's a corpse, I thought we'd agreed to work together on this. You know the traffic these days, fill me in. We had time to go over the evidence while you were en route. Turns out this might not be a Ripper murder after all. I left the computer on in the office over there if you want to see for yourself. The victim worked here at the NTSB warehouse as a black box researcher. NTSB? National Transportation Safety Board. This warehouse is used to go over the wreckage from plane crashes to try to determine what happened. The Vic was in charge of the highest priority investigation at the moment. We've gone through the victim's computer and his case notes indicate he was selling secrets. Idiot kept records. That's damn stupid. Spilling corp secrets, not the wisest career choice. Nope. Some runner like you probably often to cover up his court master's involvement and try to make it look like a Ripper killing. Here's the office key, check it out for yourself if you want. So, we need to investigate the murder scene. That's obviously not McCluskey, because I would be being kicked out of here if it was. Okay. Researchers' work cyber terminal has been left on, presumably by the Lone Star investigators. So, read the notes. Case file 95. Case file 95, Federated Boeing jetliner, corporate owner Ares, plane and several mechanical issues resulting in the Mayday at 3:04 AM on June 17, 2053. 2:45 AM, the pilot reported that the altimeter was reading the negative values. 2:49, the co-pilot takes over the controls as the pilot leaves the cabin to investigate the rear of the plane. 2:58, the pilot cannot be contacted or located by a plane steward. 3:04, the co-pilot radios in the Mayday. 3:12, plane crashed into an empty field in northwestern North Dakota. So 96. Case file 96, Pratt & Whitney, unmanned, corporate owner, redacted. 98, the file has been corrupted. Interesting. Read the researcher's private notes. The notes that appear on screen pertain to NTSB case file 96 and the crash of an Ares jetliner near the UCAS and Sioux Nation border. The crash is reportedly the result of an equipment failure. Reading further into the investigator's notes, however, you find substantial evidence linking the crash to an experimental SilmarUK research initiative. This information could be worth a great deal to the right buyer. You download the researcher's notes to your PDA. Interesting. Appears to be the victim's locker. The door is slightly ajar. Inside you see several of the dead man's personal effects. Look at the toothbrush. The toothbrush is still wet from being used. It smells of mint and cigarettes. Inspect the comb. The comb is black plastic and there's some wiry grey hair stuck in it. Leave the locker. If this was a court pit, why did they leave the evidence on the computer? Good catch. That information is probably worth a fortune if you found a buyer. Nice. Dresden. Silmar, surprised to see you here. Let me guess, Officer Aguirre tipped you off. Suppose you must have made an impression on him in the market yesterday, or your cred stick did at any rate. Anyway, surprised we've got another Ripper victim on our hands. What's the story with this one? Victim's male, mixed Native American descent, age 38, based on the condition of the body. Looks like he was killed around 2 in the morning. Cause of death unknown. Several internal organs were removed from the body after death, quite gruesomely. I'm not sure if the killer even knew what they wanted before they started cutting. Not much else to tell yet, really. He does have a lot of pre-existing scar tissue, so he probably had a major surgery at some point in recent history. Unfortunately, with the organs gone, I can't determine the nature of the surgery. Any idea which organ the Ripper was after this time? Well, the killer definitely took the lungs. The more I look at it though, the other missing organs may just be eviscerated within the chest cavity. It sounds like the Ripper has taken a different trophy from each victim. Sam's liver, this guy's lungs. Any theories? Sorry, I don't do theories. I'm just a scientist who happens to prefer dead people. However, while there was massive damage in the chest cavity, I can see that the victim's lungs were transplants, which is interesting since another victim's missing heart was also a transplant. Granted, modern medicine has made organ transplants relatively easy, but it is an odd coincidence. As a scientist, it's just that, a coincidence. This is only the third body I've personally examined. One of our other branch managers handled the other 2. If I find that more of the victims had organ transplants, I'll let you know. Is McCluskey getting any closer to a suspect? McCluskey couldn't find his ass with both hands. Don't tell him I said that though. How's Officer Aguirre doing on the case? He seems like a real go-getter. Aguirre would love to solve it before McCluskey and get his gold detective shield. Plus he'd love to see McCluskey suck in front of his superiors. He already tried to bribe me to keep information from McCluskey and slip it to him. I'm inspired by their tireless pursuit of justice. Did you take the money? He grins from ear to ear. Do you have any idea how much this job pays these days, sir? I don't think McGree's officer's salary is going to do much to seduce me into helping him. Who is that woman over there? No clue, she just showed up next to King, I think. Alright, let's take a look around. And let's go talk to her. Shannon Halfsky. You're not a cop, she looks up, watching you warily. I see you've been praying. Do you know the deceased? Yes, he's my older brother. I've asked Bear to help me speak to him. She shakes her head, looked like the one who has found herself lost for the first time in her life. But I'm afraid his spirit is too disorientated by his recent journey to answer me. For a shaman? Yes, for all the good it's doing me. If we could just make contact, I might be able to deliver justice and allow my brother's spirit to rest. Were there any other witnesses? As far as I can tell, not among the living anyway. Realization then dawns, bringing the light back to her eyes. But my brother's spirit may not be alone here this night. She closes her eyes and concentrates, droning a low chant you can barely hear. Yes, there are other spirits who may be of help. Her features harder in frustration, as if she's searching for something that remains elusive. Tired, she opens her eyes and fixes you with a stare. But I can't do it alone. What do you need? The warehouse contains the spirits of plane crash victims trapped between worlds. If they wish to help, they wish to be heard, and I think they have something to say about my brother's murder. Lone Star won't let me in there, but you seem to have the run of the place. If you can find personal items that belong to the victims, I believe that I can summon a spirit to speak with us. I need at least 2 objects. Can you find them for me? I'll do what I can. Of course. Door is locked, but you might be able to bypass if you could get under the maintenance panel. A large pile of old shoes on the ground next to airplane seats. They could be discarded luggage or possibly the shorts worn by the occupants of the plane at the time of the crash. Dig through the shoe pile. Sorting through the shoes, you realise that there are 3 shoes with no matching pair. A left blue sneaker, a right red high heel pump and a left black dress shoe. What's about the dress shoe? Dress shoe is black laced up with rubber sole, high heel pump. Pump is a department store knockoff of an Italian brand. It's otherwise unremarkable. The sneaker. The sneaker is a child's and has a musty, sweaty smell. Oddly, you get a shock as if from static electricity when you touch it. This was one of the items the shaman was looking for. Take the shoe. Okay. There's an open vent on this wall. It's too small for you to throw it through, but you might be able to send a drone through to open the door from the other side. Go for it. Drone through it to the door, busts to the left and activates the locked door from the inside. Oh. Really good decker for the win. It's hard to say whether this is a heap of items and refuse recovered from a plane crash or simply trash that hasn't been taken out yet. Dig through it. Sticky substance of some sort seems to have seeped through the trash pile and your hands are quickly covered with stuff. After searching for a minute, you unearth a handful of interesting items. Let's start with the earring. The earring is made out of burnished steel formed in the shape of a small salmon. Intense primal fear washes over you as you touch the surface. It's one of the items. Dented lunchbox. Okay, nothing with the lunchbox and the cred stick. 200 new yen. We'll take it. What we got in here? Magnetic screwdriver. That's going to be useful. Oh, can't get in there. Let's see if we can get through here. The lock panel easily comes unscrewed. Okay, just one thing in here. Looks like an old diary. Diary of a teenage girl. Let's see if we can pick up comb and toothbrush. It's about the comb. As you reach for the comb, the hair on the back of your hand stands on the ends, and when you take it off, it'll show up your heart thumps in your chest. Heart. Must be one of the items the showman was looking for. Cool. Any new options here? Okay, just leave that then. Let's go talk to Shannon. It feels as though you found enough objects. Yes, here they are. You hand her the objects you found. She closes her eyes and chants over them for a time. When her eyes open again, they're filled with tears. Thank you, these items are all I will need. It shouldn't take me long to... Classically, what the hell is all this? He's turned up. Yep, there he is. Officer Greer trials after the detective, only meeting your eyes for a moment. She's the victim's sister, sir. This is a crime scene, officer, not some stylish drum circle. Isn't it standard procedure to contact the next king? Ma'am, consider yourself contacted. Now get the hell out. Come on, if we stay much longer, I'm liable to do something I'd regret, or worse, something I'd enjoy. Yay. Talk to Shannon. That man is an ass. She stares daggers at McCluskey from across the warehouse. But there's no helping it now. I should just be grateful you were able to collect these items before those clods carted everything gone. Can we still summon the spirit? Not from here, I'm afraid. Spirits such as these are domains to which they are anchored. We need to get back in there. We'll come back later once the coast is clear. Not looking good now, but do you have any plans for this evening? Little breaking and entering, perhaps, under cover of darkness. You sure you're up for this? If it means your brother's killer doesn't take another life, then yes. Thank you. Now, since we have the time, we should probably enlist some help. They may post security overnight. We're going to go out on a limb and say you know where to find the kind of people we need. Just smile. Good, I'll put up the money if you find the bodies. She produces a fistful of crumpled new yen from inside a leather pouch, starts to count it out, then shoves the whole wad at you. Meet me back here at midnight. The spirits will be strong then. Okay, that's our cue to leave. As you start to leave the warehouse, your comlink chirps and the face of Coyote pops on the screen. Oh, Silmar, you're in the middle of saying. No problem, what do you need? Backup. Major said, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was born in the Royale. ETL pushes like Stevie J around the squats, around my world when I was growing up. I remember. He looks relieved. Whiz. I have a cousin, Gino, who's been missing for months. He hit the sprawl about a year ago and immediately fell in with some tweakers. Bad guys. They hooked him on high-amp dream chips and started using him for all sorts of track. I tried to help him, but he pushed me away. Then he disappeared. I've been shooting up ETL labs ever since trying to find him. I'm guessing you have a new lead. It's not a lead. Her face lights up. She's running hot, has a serious edge. I know exactly where he is this time. Got an old friend who eyeballed him herself. I'm on my way. Paco's with me, but we could use another hand. You in? I need you right now. On my way? I knew you'd come. I'll send you the address. See you soon. Right. So, this is where we are going to leave it. So I'm not going to read this out. Right. Cool. Saved all of that. So thanks for watching, folks. We've just basically seen our investigation continuing. A lot of clues this week, but it's taken us from a position where we basically had one slim lead left, and now we seem to have quite a few, which is cool. We will be continuing this on. The next VOD will certainly be released next week. It might be this week. And we will help out Coyote with her job and get into that NTSB warehouse and see what these spirits know. As I said before, I do have other content on YouTube. I have a Northgard playthrough. There's also the archived live streams of all archived live streams, and that includes Pathfinder Kingmaker, which I'm doing a complete playthrough of. So, as well as Elite Dangerous, Elder Scrolls Online, and a smattering of other games. There's also an Elite Dangerous hints and tip video on core mining there, and there's going to be some more coming soon. So thank you all very much for watching. If you like the video, please hit the like button, consider commenting, and if you really like the channel, then please consider subscribing, and thank you very much. Bye for now.